Hello, I told you I would give you a video, didn't I? I'm of my word, am I not? Not going to beat a dead horse, which I do tend to do. I like to beat a dead horse, right? But what I want to do is to understand is, in this small clip of video, I want you to understand why we do the things that we do, why the thoughts that we have created our reality, right? Because what I'm here to explain to you is that the reason that you have concluded, the reason your life is the way that it is because of circumstance. Like, perhaps you believe it's because of circumstance, like what the family was you were born into, these, religious beliefs, climate, circumstance, environment, the color of your skin, the race that you are, go on, right? The examples could go on and on, but I'm going to tell you exactly why you are where you are. Now, mind you, if you love your life and everything's wonderful and cool and lovely and all those sorts of things, then I'm not speaking to you, I would suppose. But anyway, just hang out a bit if you want to. Linger along, won't you? But what I want to do is talk to people that might particularly be as I was, and feeling that there was always these particular reasons why I didn't have the kind of life that I desired. Although, be it looked on the external perspective that probably I did have exactly the kind of life that I wanted, because I made people believe by my perception of creating a reality that was not actually reality. I gave everyone a viewpoint of my perspective of, like, this is what a fairy tale life would look like, but it was indeed a nightmare. Now, I'm not going to rattle on a bit about why everything was the way it was, because I'm here to say now that I take accountability for everything in my life by the thoughts that I think. This is exactly why we are where we are, is because of the thoughts that we think. This is the answer to every single thing in life. If you look around and there's an area in your life that you don't like, or you have a rather adverse reaction to, you can look in the mirror. It's you. Your thoughts create your reality. This is hard pill for some people to swallow, because we like to blame other people, myself included. Most humans do. We want to blame it on someone else because it feels rather terrible at the start of something to understand, shit, I've been creating my reality. So if it's good and wonderful, also you have created your reality to make it good and wonderful. If you don't have something in your life, and you have wanted something in your life and you don't have it, and it seems like a long time coming, it's because you think the thoughts that you think, which have created beliefs in your life, and that is why you don't have it. Now, I'm here to tell you that the main reason, now, like I said, there's creed, race, circumstance, environment, political agendas, all these different things, your health, your children, the circumstances of being raised or born into a certain family, generational things, all that sort of thing. Yes, those are actually true, but you know what? It's not fact. The reason that you don't have what you want is because of your thoughts. So your thoughts create a belief system, right? They create assumptions. So a belief is only a thought that you've thought over and over and over and over again, right? We're constantly manifesting. We've been manifesting since before we even took human form. I've tested it, and I really believe that this is the main reason most people do not have what they want, because they believe that there's some entity like God outside of themselves. There's always something outside of themselves keeping them or hindering them from their belief, but from their desires. Right? The main reason that I always believed that was, ultimately, if I wanted to disregard all of the other things like race, circumstance, environment, who I was married to, all those sort of things, it always came from the stemming factor was that I had this belief that I had to wait upon God, an entity outside of myself, to be deemed worthy enough to have my desire. Now, I'm going to explain to you that there when I say this, and it might come as a bit of surprise to some people, because you're the operant power. There is no God outside of you that is keeping you from your desire. Now that's a hard pill to swallow as well, because we don't. So when you realize that the reality is that the truth be known to you is that you are the operant power, that you are the God within, it gives you a sense of freedom to realize that everything you want in life you are capable of having. In fact, if you have a desire, that means that whatever that desire is, it needs to be capable of coming to fruition from you, because desire, that is what God does, is put desire. Your God self puts that desire within you, or you have it before coming to earth, to manifest that. Like, say for instance, I have no desire whatsoever to ever be like actress or anything, right? It would never even ring my bells, or be a rock star. Or let's say, like, I mean, just give an example of anything that, well, I guess you can't give an example of anything, but like a business owner, or whatever. Like, you could say whatever, like, oh, working at 9-to-5 job in a big corporation, or something, like a head of a magazine or something like that. No, that has no realm of possibility of me even remotely desiring that, right? And the reason for this is because that is not a desire of mine, and that means that that's not meant for me to have or be in life. Now, if we have a desire, there's something that we really, really want, or there's something that you just semi-desire, that means that you were meant to have it. Now, this comes as a bit of a shock to someone that has limited beliefs of thinking that they can't have what they want for whatever reason, but mostly it's because we don't feel, I mean, we've been taught since we were little children that the power to have whatever we want is outside of ourselves. Like, we have to be deemed worthy enough. We have to have a certain amount of money to be able to accomplish this. We need to know the right people. All these different examples of excuses, basically, of why we don't have what we truly desire in life. Now, mind you, you can say, well, I don't really desire anything. I'm perfectly content. I have everything that I want, which is a lie, because maybe you've told yourself that because you don't feel that it is possible for you to have ever had your desire. That's why we do that. We make excuses for our desires. But we are human beings, so we always desire. It's something in our DNA. Like, every human being always has a desire. You think, oh no, I'm content or whatever. No, you're never content. You might be satisfied for the moment, but you'll never content continually for the rest of your life. If you are, you should be in the grave, right? You no longer have any reason to be alive as a human if you have no desires. So let's just square that out of the way. But anyway, what I want you to understand is the only thing that you need to do is, if you desire something, you don't need to do anything else but create new thoughts. And the way that you create new thoughts is that you finally draw a line in the sand, which means I want you to decide what you truly desire. This is coming in contact with your inner self, and some people might have been asleep for quite some time because they're so used to not getting what they want truly. But I want you to draw a line in the sand, and I want you to decide what you really want in life. Then you don't need to tell anyone. You need to keep it secret. It's like going into your own closet, you know what I mean? And I want you to change your thoughts about that. And the way that we do this is we reverse engineer every thought that we have. So say, for instance, and I'll give you an example, because remember I told you that I was going to explain to you a story, an example of something that happened in my life. And I want you to understand it. This is the beautiful thing, is because you no longer, when you realize you're the operant power, that there's nothing outside of yourself that's controlling the narrative, that you can have everything that you desire, not something similar to it, not something like remotely similar, kind of like it. No, you can fucking have, the sky is your limit. Your belief system is what's keeping you down. So we have to create new belief system, right? And how we do that is thinking new thoughts. So we're so used to thinking negativity, and those are the thoughts that you continue to perpetuate, which creates a belief system, which is an assumption of something. So everything in your reality is the thoughts that you've thought. Now, it sounds like a little bit of, Bojangles here, because what I'm telling you, it seems so simplistic that you're like, it couldn't fucking be that easy, Raquel. Like, that's not exactly, that can't possibly be. And it's because I understand it kind of pisses you rather off, doesn't it? Because you think, no, you're telling me that it's this fucking simple to get what I want in life. It's escaped me all this time, and this is what you're fucking telling me. Yeah, I'm fucking telling you that, because I'm here to tell you exactly what is going on, because I have. And so I know that if it's happened for me, and I'm able to have changed my thoughts, and now I'm getting every single thing I've ever desired, and it comes rather quickly, then I know this is fucking fact. It actually fucking works. You don't want to believe me, that's fine, but I want you to test it. I want you to test it. Don't take me for my word at it. I want you to test it. Anyway, so I'm going to give you an example of, like, say for instance, you see someone that you're like, oh, I really want that, right? Sometimes we rub up against someone in our reality, or we might even know someone that's outside of ourselves that, like, they might not even know we exist, but we might get a little irritated, like, Now, this is my example, my story that I want to tell you. My desire, and the reason is I believe that it's so much because of my intuitive nature of understanding why I have this desire. Now, give it 2 years ago, middle of the year of 2019. Now, this is when Sawyer died, okay? He died, and I had been having a go with social media, Instagram most particularly, because that's where all my negative beliefs are derivative of. Social media, and Instagram specifically, was where I had a lot of, like, very difficult situations happen. One being that my ex-husband used manipulation through social media of being in the entertainment to kind of like thwart me and my reputation, which then compiled with that of having, like, being bullied online. And I think if you've read my blog, you understand what I'm talking about. On numerous occasions. Then I had a bunch of, like, religious church friends that used to be that were friends with me at one time, like, completely ruining, like, calling me out, doing all these things that would cause me to have a new assumption created, a belief system that everything having to do with Instagram was a fucking wash, right? Like, I deleted my account like 3 different times, right? So this is why, but you know what? I'm like a dog with a fucking bone. So when something really, really bothers me, I always, now that Sawyer's died, I hit it head on. Like, I stare fear right in the face. Like, I no longer run. But I used to do that because it's fight or flight. And that's a human reaction, right? It's a new normal human. You're going to fight or flight. Well, I used to fly away, leave, because I don't want to deal with this. But if you realize that you're creating your reality, it will show up somewhere else in your life. That's just how life works, right? And I did not understand this until Sawyer died. So when Sawyer died, I thought, you know what, I'm going to start again. I'm going to start Instagram again, because I know that, like, although I was living the law of attraction at the time, which I now live the law of assumption, because I believe everything is the law of assumption. And it's sort of the same thing, but there's a lot of different things that you finally realize that you're the operant power. And that is a very big thing for me, because it has freed me like a caged bird. And I'm like, feel like I'm high, cloud high. And so this was my little Achilles heel, and Instagram was. So I finally decided that because I desire that. Now, there's a lot of people that are like, oh, I could care less about the Instagram or the Facebook or the social media. I could give two rats behind about it. But me, my desire is I like Instagram. And I did not want to no longer run from Instagram because of all these people that were making, like, not making me feel like that, but because of the thoughts that I thought, I was creating that reality of like, everybody ghosts me. No one wants to follow me on the Instagram. No one wants to do that. Like, there was a self-worth issue, which came down to social media, Instagram. So when Sawyer died, I finally said, you know what, I'm going to start another account, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to stick with it, right? Now, this is going to tell you exactly what happens when you first start, before you have that purging, okay? So what happens when you first start to change a belief that you've had? You've got an assumption about it. Now, see, mind you, I would delete the account, start again, delete account, start again. Now, you're always having to restart with a new, this whole idea again. But what happens is it's a repeat pattern if you do not get to the nuts and bolts of it, which is your assumption about that particular thing, right? And this can go for anything in life, but I'm explaining my Instagram story, okay? So what happened was I would start the account, and because I had not changed the beliefs about and my assumptions about this thing, my thoughts started to recreate the same thing again. Have you ever noticed there's like some people that like will be in like 5 relationships, and it's like, what the fuck? You can't figure out your love life. Like, what is the fuck going on? It's because we think that a new place, a new version, a new house, a new person, a new circumstance is going to change, but we're the one not changing. It's like looking into a mirror but breaking it instead of going, no, I'm going to look inside, because you don't like what you're seeing. It doesn't even make sense. But we do it as humans all the time, which I'm not snuffing on you for that. But what I'm saying is I created a new account. Okay. So everything's going fine or whatever, but I'm not growing on my Instagram, okay? Like, you see, I have, 200 people, 200 something. I have, 200 people, 200 something. I don't know what it is now. But actually, I do. I'm lying to you. I know exactly how many, but you lose people and people come in, and you lose people and all that. So my new belief was, I still thought like, oh, I'm going to have to like beat the algorithm. I'm going to have to figure out like, maybe I need to hire a company that will help me in my social media or whatever, because, I'm doing this Patreon series. So I want to, like, I love Instagram. So I'm starting to think all these different things until about September of last year. Then I'm starting to think, okay, maybe I stumbled onto Neville Goddard, that I understood I'm the operant power. So that gave me such a sense of power that I was like, oh, I'm the one doing this. Like, there is no God outside of me, like deeming me like, oh, you can't have Instagram following and you can't have a lot of followers, because it was only my thoughts that was creating that, because of the assumptions and all my past history and experiences. Now, there's some people that have a go, like every time they start an account, they're just like, oh, 10,000 people like in 2 days. Like, they have no resistance towards it, okay? But they might have resistance somewhere else in their life that you don't know about. So don't ever compare yourself or your situations to other people's and their desires, because everyone's creating their own reality in their own way. Now, the reason that some people don't have resistance is because some people have not had experiences like mine. So I don't compare my situation to them, because they fully deserve to have, they're making 20 million because they're a basketball player. Why would I tell them they're terrible because they're making so much money throwing a ball around a court, when they created the reality? They have no resistance towards, I get to play games all day and make lots of money. So do you understand, like, when you can see someone mentally instead of something that's derivative of an emotional stemming from you and what you think about that person, you have a more clear understanding of your own life. So let me get back to the Instagram. So I'm having this account, saw you died. I'm still going through the grief process, and the process is sometimes can be long and all that. So my relief was going on Instagram, because I found like refuge in going and watching other people and their stories and all that. Like, it made me feel good. I was able to distract myself from the mire of my thoughts, which were terrible. So that was another reason that I do love Instagram, because I feel like it was therapeutic for me. Now, I'm still sitting at probably 20 people at this particular time on Instagram 2 years ago, okay? And so I'm still not quite understanding, because at that time I didn't know. Like, I just previously learned about Neville Goddard on the YouTube, right? And so I started reading all his books and everything, and I was learning and different things like that. So this is a very new concept for me, but I wanted to share it with you because I think it's so important. And anyway, so what happened was I started understanding, oh, my thoughts are creating this. So my assumption is that this is, everything's hard and no one's going to like me. And because those old beliefs start to come back every time I'd open the app, right? So I decided, like, oh, okay, so I have to just create new beliefs about this. So I started saying my affirmations, like what my desire was. Like, I want to go viral on Instagram. I want to have I'm starting, because I'm doing it in steps. Like, I want to have, over 50,000 people. My growth is going to be quick. Everyone loves me. Like, I had to change those self-concept beliefs about it. And you don't think that they have a reflection on, like, it's a fucking app, Raquel. It's like an Instagram photography app. Like, get over yourself. No, actually, I'm telling you the truth, that everything coincides with everything in your fucking life, okay? And anyway, so this is important to me, right? So I'm going on. Now, I sat literally, and you might say, oh, well, you fucking have like 220 people that follow you on the Instagram now, Raquel. Like, you don't fucking have anybody. And that's fine, because I'm not looking at it in that way. What I'm doing is I want you to watch me go through this process so that you can see that I'm doing it in front of you. I'm proving to you what I'm teaching. And so for 2 years, I sat at 67 followers until a month ago. Now, I haven't, as of yet today, in this moment I'm doing this video, gone viral. But I promise you that in some short amount of time, I will go viral, and you'll see that. And I want it to be proof to you that your thoughts create your reality. Now, after I've been doing this, now listen, that's proof already that what I'm saying is true, that when you change your beliefs and you start to affirm your affirmations over and over, you create new belief systems, right? Because I went from 67 to now I have like 220 or whatever, when I was sitting at 67 for 2 years. That tells you that my thoughts are creating my reality. Now, I'll go viral, sure as enough. I know it's a fact. I don't know when. I don't care how it happens, but it will happen because I create my reality. So that's what I want you to know and understand. That was just a small example of me creating my reality, but it happens thousands of times. It's happened thousands, literally. It's happened thousands of times to me. But I'm just giving you a visual of something that's going on now so that you can see and you can watch this video. And when I go viral, I'll have done it right in front of your eyes, so you'll understand me. And so that's what I want to share with you. I hope you enjoyed it. Cheers.